the apathy is so strong, the anger isn't as vitriolic as it usually is. There was definitely a feeling before the game that this was seismic for a manager who desperately needed it. I think one defeat's a crisis, isn't it, in Glasgow, but two was a big problem, and then here we are, a third consistent. And I think it was away Celtic lost, and I know there was that 15-minute kind of. They were very good in the first half for about 15 minutes. There was a lot of good attacking, overlapping. I think that was all based on Iheanacho. Said to me yesterday, sitting next to us, that I think Iheanacho had found a manager who a system that suited him, the ability to hold the ball and turn that got other players into the game. But out with that, the way St Mirren started the game and the level of chances, it's the quality of chances they created. And I know they scored 3, but there was multiple opportunities there for more. And I think that's a galling bit for Celtic, and coupled with the fact that in the second half, they were so light on chances. It became clear that the more Nancy got involved in the game itself, the less effective Celtic were. And the amount of times we're back to players getting called over, a lot of tactical instructions. I think it was quite a chastening day, and I think you've got all the people that may be worried about the manager before he came in. And to be fair, the things that worried them about the manager are been proven correct, in the sense tactically the MLS is a very particular league, so someone like Wilfried Nancy has got a style of play, was able to have an effect, but this is Celtic, and I think my big concern, or what you should be worried for Celtic, is this style of so many players in the centre of the pitch and overlapping. Is it really made for a team that dominates the ball? Is that the style that the best teams, we've watched it with Ruben Amorim at Man United, like, you can't always draw parallels, but the best teams still play with out-and-out wingers, with overlaps that way, rather than this kind of players coming in the pitch. I think Celtic always have more problems going through the middle, but when it was done at pace with Iheanacho in the pitch, some of it looked good, but the rest, it was a chastening day for Celtic.
I mean, Matt, Graeme makes a good point there. I mean, about the way Celtic played, the formation, a lot's been made of it. I mean, very simply, as a fan watching, I mean, Liam Scales was playing like a left forward at times, like rampaging down the left wing. It was weird. It's strange to even kind of see what Nancy's trying to do, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Listen, Celtic are a bit of a mess right now. They really are. And there's a lot of contributing factors that have got them to this point, a fairly shambolic point. And in the short term, the new managers come in, he's had 3 games, 3 defeats, they've lost 8 goals in a week, scored 2, conceded from set pieces in each of the 3 games. I thought St Mirren were very good value for their win yesterday. Second half, they were actually pretty comfortable winners. Even early on, they got scored about 93 seconds from a corner kick. Could have been 2 up fairly easily. I think Graeme was right that he had a spell when I thought Celtic played quite well. And you think, is this the kind of hint of the kind of Nancy ball, what you want to call it? And you think, well, yeah, perhaps. And I think at times it could cause teams problems because the sheer amount of bodies there are going forward. But managers like Stephen Robinson look at that, and the way to counter that is to hit long into 2 centre forwards, leave 2 up and hit long into them, leave them man for man, and it becomes an arm wrestle with the centre halves. And countless times, Iunga, Lundulu had the beating of their men who were marking them, and they were spinning around behind. And sometimes the man lacked a wee bit of quality to finish it off, but the chances, and they're always a threat. And you thought, it just looked to me really naive. And then, but for a while, that was the vision. It was working. You get Scales overlapping and Tierney underlapping and all this kind of stuff. You get Tanecki playing right wing, who I'm not sure I'm not sure he's not been doing that great in the left, but I'm not sure he's a right wing back or winger either. But quickly, once they had the setback of losing Iheanacho, it quickly dissolved into anarchy and chaos. And in the second period, it looked like a works team. Players didn't know where they meant to be in the pitch. There were constantly communication from the sidelines. Confusion reigned. Chaos reigned. It just looked so disjointed and disorganised. And St Mirren had a field day. We're talking about a team that is the complete opposite. I mean, St Mirren are a team who are so well drilled, so well organised. They play to their strengths. They capitalise on the weakness of opposition, and they punish Celtic severely. And it's and you you're loath to kind of jump on this bandwagon. You know, people are saying that Nancy's got to go. I mean, 3 games in, 10 days in the job. I mean, it's ridiculous even contemplating it. And you're reluctant to kind of jump on that kind of pylon because the guy needs time. He needs to be a chance to get apply his own style and get his own players in through a window. But he's also got to have a bit of common sense. He's also got to take a step back, and he has. Listen, Wilfried Nancy was contacted at the end of October from Celtic. He was still involved with Columbus Crew at the time, and that's when he was told that he was the number one candidate, pretty much the only candidate. So he had over a month. I know he's busy with Crew in the playoffs at that point. He went out the playoffs. He still had 3 weeks to analyse the squad from afar, to talk to people in the building, to kind of do his due diligence and work out and find out why Celtic were playing a certain way under Martin O'Neill. They also had the chance to talk to Martin O'Neill and ask him why he played that way. And as transpires from Martin O'Neill said that he spoke to him for 15 minutes. It wasn't really an in-depth conversation. Again, I can't understand why that would be the case. I mean, if you're an incoming CEO of a new company and you get a chance to work alongside the guy you're replacing if they were stepping down and get the knowledge that they've got. Most managers don't get that. Most managers get sacked and they're out the back door. You don't get a chance to talk to them. He had the chance to speak to the guy who had won 7 out of 8 and said, why are you playing this certain way? And it's because Celtic don't have key parts to that squad. Manuel didn't want to play that way. He had to play that way. It was about round pegs and square holes and minimising those round pegs. Whereas Nancy's come in and he said, right, I'm going to play my way right from the start. And you think, right, that's bold. Okay. Does it against Hearts. Gets picked off. You think, right, okay, lesson learned. Does it again against Roma. It's picked off. I mean, the first half that was a complete shambles. Could have been anything. Again, you think, okay, it's Roma, that could happen. Like Martin O'Neill and Brendan Rodgers would both probably lose that game anyway as well. So you give them that bye. This is the one you think, right, St Mirren are a tough team to play against. They've got an awkward style. They're physical. The middle of the park, they've got a couple of, tremendous players in there. Killian Phillips, Gogic coming busting out from the back, brilliant. He was outstanding on Sunday. You know where their kind of strengths lie. Again, it was not tunnel vision. This is the way Celtic are going to play, and St Mirren picked it apart. So I think there's deeper issues at Celtic coming from the kind of the summer and beyond. In fact, I think you can go back to last January and beyond. Celtic have lost 15 games in 2025. They lost 2 in all competitions in 2024.
That's
Dortmund
crazy.
And Hearts. So they lost 15 games in the calendar year. So this is a rot that's set in from the turn of the year, and it's now coming to fruition, really. But I don't think, for all these background problems, and there are many, I don't think the manager can escape criticism because he has been incredibly naive or arrogant to come in and try to be revolutionary in the first week in such an important week.
Yeah.
And it's proved catastrophic for him because now he is well and truly behind the 8 ball. Some fans who weren't convinced that his name coming in out the blue, but maybe willing to give him a chance, that's now gone. He's now got zero goodwill amongst the support who right away are thinking this guy's out his depth. More worryingly, what does the squad think? That's the problem now he's got. Is you can afford to lose the faith from the stands if you got the belief in the squad to implement your ideas and then go from there.